BBC 97.3.
0870 90 90 973.
Nick Abbott.
Hello, boys.
Back live.
Oh, right, yeah.
What time do you call this?
If I'd taken another half an hour off, it would have been like doing a show at the BBC.
Were you napping?
I cannot believe what is going on out there. It took... Normally, it's a journey that takes 20 minutes. I've been on the road for over 2 hours.
Where'd you go? Via Birmingham?
You'd think. I mean, I could have taken a holiday in the amount of time that it took me to get here. I'm just staggered. And the thing that amazed me the most, and as I was halfway down, I thought, you know what, I kind of hope that I don't see even as much as a puddle, because it will allow me to moan about it more. There was not even the smallest scintilla of moisture on the road between my home and here. So why the hell did it take so blooming long to get here? Why does London come to a staggered standstill at the merest hint of rain? I mean, it's not like we had a monsoon, was it? It's not like it rained constantly, pelting cats and dogs for 40 days and nights, was it? It rained hard, right enough.
For about 20 minutes, was it?
Exactly, for less than half an hour. And I stood at the window and I was bursting out laughing. It was raining so hard. I've never seen anything like it over here, right enough. It was 20 minutes, you're absolutely right, followed by just your normal average rain. All of which had disappeared from the route that I came here on. Not a puddle, I promise you. Not even the smallest puddle.
Well, I hope you let the LBC jam line know.
So why did it take that long? What were those jams about? As I was coming here, and I thought, oh, it's bound to be one thing that's backed everything up in the whole of the West End, the whole of the West of London.
Yeah.
It'll be that Shepherd's Bush, which is, you know, more or less where we are. The Shepherd's Bush roundabout is underwater, and people are having to crawl through, and cars are broken down, and the fire, the people are there, and, you know, pumping the water out. It'll be something like that. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Not from my home to here. The roads were precisely the same as they always are. Why the hell did it take 10 times as long to do the trip today as it ordinarily did, just because it rained this morning? Well, what a ridiculous third world country we live in. This is, I'm speechless. Actually, I'm not speechless, but I'm staggered.
Are you angry?
A little bit angry, yeah.
Yeah, you sound angry.
Do I?
What I hate most when you're in those kind of jams is that you actually feel completely helpless.
Totally.
You're in this metal box that's
Yeah.
got another metal box behind it and in front of it, and you cannot go anywhere.
I couldn't even do a U because almost all of the roads from here to there are one way.
The thing is, wouldn't you prefer to be in your little metal box than being crammed up against someone's armpit on the tube, like I was earlier today?
Absolutely, yeah, but that's very interesting, but we're talking about me right now.
Oh.
Well, why would the tube be, why would the tube have a problem? It's underground. Doesn't rain underground.
Oh, the part that I went on today is an overground bit, but that...
Well, it runs on rails, you know, my case sticks.
Well, they said one of the stations was flooded, so they cancelled, like, loads of our trains, and so everybody... finally, when the one train did come along, everyone crammed onto that. You stood up for your whole journey. You stood up for, like, 45 minutes. It's a long time standing up.
Really?
Yeah. But, I don't know, they said one of the stations was flooded, but we then eventually went through that station, and I took a peek out the window. Just, the ground
Nothing
just
there.
looked, ground just looked damp.
And that nice lady on the news, she said, oh, you know, it was raining. We had 4 centimetres of rain. That's about 2 inches. Big deal.
I blame health and safety.
Actually, I blame Gordon Brown. I mean, he's been running the show for the last 10 years, and he shows up, and it's almost like, oh, it's just nothing to do with me, Governor. I haven't been paying attention at all. I've been sitting in the back. It's all Tony's fault. It was like that when I got here. It's the Bart Simpson defence. I just cannot believe it.
Isn't it amazing, though, that no one can stop rain? Not even the biggest army in the world can stop rain.
I think I need pills to calm me down.
Yeah.
I don't care what you get. Just get me a rainbow selection.
Well,
I want lots of different coloured ones.
All I can offer you is a cup of tea.
That'll do. I'll
Right.
have to do at the moment.
Right.
But seriously, do not go if you don't have to. I'm going to sound like the bloke on the news now. If you don't have to make your journey, then best to stay at home.
Isn't it worrying, though, that a city can be brought to a standstill by, like you said, it's probably one incident somewhere. There's just complete domino effect over the whole of the west of London.
But it wasn't an incident because by the time you got to Shepherd's Bush roundabout, there were no queues to go anywhere. The queue was just to get to, from all the way back down through, well, I'm not going to tell you where I came from, because that would identify where I live. But for miles,
Yeah.
it was queuing and queuing and queuing, and then nothing. And then, well, what the hell was all that about?
Is it because because the public transport was rubbish, people have gone back home and got their cars?
What, and then gone back to work so that they'd have a car to go back from work?
Yeah.
Sometimes you say the most ridiculous things. And as I was listening to myself in the car, which is a new experience for me, I've never done that before.
Yeah.
Some of the clips you could have picked a little bit better, because I started one of them saying, you know what, it didn't rain today. I'm
Well-
thinking, you fool.
Yeah, but you gave me 20 minutes notice.
I gave you a lot longer than that.
I thought it was about 25 then.
Right. Well, like I said, that's when I found myself stuck, and I thought it's going to be like this all the way. Then I alerted you as soon as possible.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Now, where are my pills?
Alex is on the case.
Oh, calm me
Calm down, calm down.
If my Iranian doctor hadn't blown himself up the other day, I'd be on the phone to him right now.
The thing is, shouldn't you be quite calm anyway? Because you've just been sat down in your car.
Yeah.
You know,
Actually, I am quite calm.
you haven't had to run to get the train. You haven't, had to,
Yeah.
You haven't been carrying all your bags. You've just been sat down in your car.
Yeah, you were very understanding about it.
Yes.
And I had a little chortle because I was listening to the Gibbon woman earlier on, because she was on, unexpectedly. Why was
Yeah.
Carol on?
Because John was off.
Right. Not that he couldn't get here either.
Well, the thing is, I asked Carol to stick around, but
Yeah.
she said...
She said, no, I've got an appointment.
Booze.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
She did come in and say, "Where is he?"
Yeah.
And I said,
bet
"Oh,
she's-
he'll be here."
She came in to say hello, but...
I bet she said it like that as well. Where is he?
She did actually.
Yeah.
She didn't even say hello. She went, "Where
I
is
know.
he?"
Oi, Carol.
She said any other day she would have stuck around, but, her appointments were calling.
Here, have I broken the studio here, or is this monitor actually supposed to be on? Oh, I just switched it off. There you go.
There you go.
Everything is working splendidly. Everything is
extremely well.
is extremely well. Yeah. If only I had a sound effect that said that, then we'd really be getting somewhere.
Everything is going extremely well.
And of course, because it's normally only a 20-minute journey, and my car petrol tank is on a quarter, I thought I don't need to do that. I've got days could go by because it's just a very short trip, and I won't need to fill up because I have this thing. I don't know why. I like to.
Let it run down?
I'm almost torturing myself. I don't like to let it run down, but I always do. In the same kind of thing as arriving late for everything, which is a thing that I used to have, which I cured myself of, apart from today, which is completely beyond my control, and I do not take responsibility.
Isn't it good, though, to let your petrol tank run down? Because it clears out the old petrol. Because if you just keep topping it up all the time, the old petrol is just going to stay at the base of the tank, isn't it?
Well, and become stale.
Well, anything can go off, can't it?
I thought it was good to keep it topped up for that very reason in reverse. That all the sediment that sits at the bottom of your tank,
Yeah.
you don't want it actually going through your engine, you want it to always sit there, so keep your tank topped up. But anyway, I'm sitting there, and suddenly lights are flashing on the dashboard at me, and I normally ignore those lights because they're,
You don't know what they do.
Yes, that, and they're usually telling me impudent things like fill up the washer.
Fluid.
Yeah. Which I'm, who does that? Or oil, you need oil. Oh, that can wait. But suddenly it said, you're not going to make it. I thought, oh, blimey, because it seems to be using more petrol just sitting stationary than it did if I was, zooming down the motorway at 150 miles an hour, which I never do.
No. Well, is it 50 miles an hour is your Like optimum.
Optimum, yeah.
Where you?
I can't remember the last time I
55.
saw 50.
Is it 55?
Yeah, that's why American speed limits were set at 55 in the 70s. Because
Aren't
it's the
they-
optimum speed.
Aren't they clever?
fuel
Well, that's ridiculous.
efficiency
American
ratio.
cars go through about 6 miles per gallon.
You think that their speed limits would be much higher than ours because of their long straight roads?
Yeah, it is. The last time I drove in America, it was absolutely painful. Because particularly if you drive over states like Texas or Arizona, places like that, where you have a dead straight road that you could put a ruler against. It couldn't be more straight. That goes off into the horizon for as far as the eye can see. And there's nobody else on that road at all, and it's still 55 miles an hour. And they can get you because as though they've got nothing else to do. The police over there, as though they've solved all the murders and crime is at zero. They've actually got the time to get into planes
Yeah.
and fly along the route of the road and clock you from the plane.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Aren't they clever?
Well, that's one way of putting it, I suppose, yes. This is LBC. Let's have travel now.
I just want to tell you all how happy I am to be back in the studio.
And it does make you a little concerned, doesn't it, in these times of trouble, that if a little rain for half an hour can screw us up like this, then what if something really serious happened? We got no chance.
Like what? Sleet or snow?
I mean, it does make you a little bit concerned, don't you think? It makes me concerned. I mean, if we can't cope with a little bit of rain in a country that does rain for a living, then, there's no hope for us. There really is actually no hope for us. We're doomed.
Well, it's going to get worse this weekend, isn't it?
What?
This is just the start of things.
How do you mean?
Well, they said it's going to be, torrential rain all weekend down in the south.
Oh, come on. How can it be? How much rain is there?
Well, lots.
I'll tell you what, global warming, I'm not completely satisfied.
Yeah.
This is rubbish.
You're very disappointed with global
This is not
warming.
why we keep our televisions on standby.
No.
This is not why we blast away from the lights in order to use as much petrol as absolutely possible.
Does this rain, though, make you want to do something about it? About global warming?
Well, yeah, it makes me want to make it warmer and drier, for a start. All of those experts at the beginning of the year who told us with confidence what a long, hot, dry summer we were going to have. Well, where's that then? When's that going to start? Can't wait.
Not in this country.
I can't wait till winter, till it gets drier and warmer. I mean, it's just...
Yeah, our winters were really warm this time around, weren't they?
Winter was more pleasant than our summer this time around, yeah.
Well, maybe we've had the summer. Because April, wasn't that beautiful?
Yeah, it did seem to be quite nice.
I wore shorts in April.
What a horrible thought.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember laughing at you.
Yeah, cheers for that.
Shows your knees.
Yes.
Oh, go on, shows your knees.
No, what now?
Yeah,
No.
absolutely.
No. Jeans are too hard to roll up.
Pants him, Alex.
I'm not touching it.
So, let's take our first call, and we're only an hour and 20 minutes in from Streatham. Hello, Jeff.
Hello.
Jeff.
Yeah, I wanted to offer some random words to add to the conversation.
Okay.
Here we go. Room 101, Tiger Tiger Burning Bright, Take It to the Limit, The Heart of Darkness down on Cypress Avenue. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. You can take all the tea in China, alternative car park.
And all that is apropos of what?
Nothing at all.
Okay, great. Thanks for the call. This is what I rushed here to get. Really. And, I did maintain calm, though. Like, I was quite surprised, because when you're sitting in a traffic jam like that, you can work yourself up into a fury, and each tiny movement forwards can just do your nut in. But the people around me all seemed quite at ease with it as well. I was quite surprised there was no honking of horns when people found themselves stuck in the middle of those yellow grids and they were blocking traffic, and people just seemed to be, oh well.
It's because they're used to it here, aren't they?
I just think that it's...
People encounter jams all the time in London, so...
No, but I've never encountered a jam like that. I've never been in a traffic jam, the like of which I was in just now. Ever.
Yeah, it doesn't take you too long to work out, that, getting stressed about it is not actually going to...
No, I know, logically, but logic has nothing to do with this. I mean, you can just lose your rag because you're very late for something. I mean, being late to be on the air is quite a noticeable thing to be late for. I mean, if you're late for an office job, when there's 50 other people in the office, there's no big deal, right?
Yeah.
But if you're the only person behind the microphone, if it hadn't been for you, there'd been complete silence.
Good point.
So, but I was quite surprised with my reaction to it. I was quite sort of laissez-faire. I was oh well, whatever. Nothing I can do, so, I won't let my blood boil.
Yeah, well, hopefully by the time you finish tonight, hopefully it would have cleared up. Or you're just going to take a completely different route home?
No, I'm staying here.
Oh, good plan.
Because I'm on tomorrow, so I've brought a tent. I might as well just stick it out. So the cabinet are queuing up to admit their indiscretions at university. You read about this?
Uh-oh. What's wrong with them now?
Oh, it's nothing that's wrong with them, but they all smoked. They all smoked marijuana at university. And like I said yesterday, if you go through university and you don't even come across grass, that rather suggests a closed mind, doesn't it? A lack of an inquiring mind, don't you think?
Well, you got no friends.
Yeah. Ruth Kelly said, now, I want you to remember what each person says and see if you can follow a pattern here. Ruth Kelly says, I smoked cannabis in my youth, but realised it was foolish and gave up. As though it would just dawn on you, oh, you know what, this is foolish. I'm going to stub it out in the ashtray. Yvette Cooper, Minister for Housing, said, I did try cannabis while at university, like a lot of students at the time, and it is something that I have left behind. This is in the Telegraph, which provided pictures now and then. I don't know how they got pictures of them at university, but they put them all in. Hazel Blears, Community and Local Government Secretary, said, she tried the drug once or twice when very young. Andy Burnham said, used cannabis once or twice at university and never since. John Hutton said, smoked cannabis at university once or twice. He regrets doing it now, having seen the damage that cannabis can cause amongst the young people in his constituency. He regrets it. Like he's wandering around, holding his head in his hands. Oh, no, if only I hadn't. Alistair Darling said, smoked cannabis occasionally in my youth. Jackie Smith smoked cannabis just a few times at university 25 years ago. They've all just been, they've been sat in a room. First of all, somebody's gone around saying, you better tell us right now because the press are going to be all over you. Either tell us or make absolutely sure that no one you know is going to go to the press.
Sure.
And so the people that did it and are confident that they're not going to get told on, they said, oh, well, no, forget about it. Just, well, not me. And the people who did put their hands up and admitted it said, right, here's what you say. You just say you did it once or twice, not 3 or 4 times, not that you were getting off your face every weekend, or you needed a spliff with your coffee in the morning. Just once or twice, you regret it, it was a mistake, and that you've never done it since. And then they just trot out this stuff like it's, like they actually mean it. And the pictures of them are very telling, because... the pictures of them now, of course, they're all buttoned up and betied, and they've got the smart hair and so on. The pictures of them at university, well, it looks like a Grateful Dead reunion. They look like the shots from a commune once or twice.
I don't think people actually care, though, do they? This is just the press drumming this up, and
yeah, but the press are only doing it because they think that we care.
Yeah, exactly, but I don't think people do they? Because it's so long ago that it's, people, they're not fussed at what they did 20 years ago.
People of our age, perhaps, people who, did go through university in the 60s, 70s, 80s, the people older who read the Mail and, the Telegraph and so on, still are, still sort of hold on to this belief that smoking a joint is the same as injecting heroin into your eyeballs. You'll be on one of those government posters, shivering in an alleyway, saying, "Oh, I've just got a bit of a cold at the moment. That's all." And so that's the myth that they're perpetrating here. Once or twice, and I regretted it. He regretted it. I mean, it's just comical, isn't it? Anyway, he's stamping his authority all over this. Because, as I said, it's a no-lose situation. He can be as stern as he likes. No one is going to vote against it, because everyone that is stoned doesn't go and vote anyway.
Oh, I saw that.
Affirmative.
Joan. Hello, Joan.
Hello, Nick.
How are you?
Well, I'm very good, really, considering the fudge didn't fudge.
Considering the what?
The fudge, it didn't quite cook enough, so it's all right, really.
What fudge?
The fudge I made today.
Well, you say that like I was expecting it.
Well, no, because you didn't know, did you?
No.
No, it's lovely, but I have to put it back in the big saucepan all over again. But apart from that, it's been very good.
Well, it's just liquid?
No, it's a soft toffee. A very soft toffee. But it's not fudge.
Okay.
You know, so you have to do it again.
And what's the difference between fudge and toffee?
Well, toffee has a smooth texture.
No, I know I know how to tell the difference between them, but what...
Oh, sorry.
What's the difference in manufacture?
The toffee wouldn't have butter in, I don't suppose. Well, it might have. But then as it's cooling, when you've cooked it enough...
I thought toffee was just sugar and butter.
Oh, it can be all sorts of different things.
Yeah, but isn't sugar and butter the main ingredients?
I would say sugar, milk. You can have toffee with sugar, milk, and a bit of butter. You can have toffee with sugar and water. Can't you?
So what is it that makes fudge fudge?
Well, that's it. As it's cooling, you think you've cooked it enough, and as it's cooling, you beat it. And you keep beating it and beating it and beating it until it has this grainy texture.
Yeah.
And then you quickly get it into something or other to cool off. And I did that just a little bit too soon. It's a lot of work. But the chocolate cake turned out all right. It was the 7th birthday, actually, in the family. And so we had a big cake of 7.
Well, that sounds yummy.
It was yummy. It was yummy. So it was a good day.
Right, better day than I've had.
Yeah, the road was flooded, though. The road was flooded for a wee while.
Didn't see a single drop.
And it lasted about 10 minutes, and then it all went away. So that was okay.
Right.
But anyway, you know, if it's supposed to be global warming, we're supposed to be making this big difference, you and me, like. I don't think so. You think of how much of the world is water, ocean. Do you know how much percent of the whole globe is ocean?
Is it 4/5?
It's 71%.
Hey, not bad.
That's
almost
a lot.
Correct.
It was a good guess. Then you've got a great big percentage of the percentage that's left, which is desert. And then the other bit is uninhabited, or tropical, or whatever you like to call it. And so you've got a tiny little percentage, which is actually people with things doing things with energy.
Yeah. And you wouldn't think that we would have such a big effect.
No.
Well, we probably aren't.
No.
They're making it up.
Well, I mean, it doesn't sound very logical, does it?
No. Particularly when you consider the size of the planet. And you do look at pictures of it from space, and you see, what, a tiny amount, relatively, where we actually occupy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of the third world countries, okay, they're there, and they're actually populating the place, but they're not great on energy use, are they?
Not yet. They will be.
Yeah, but, all right, we're getting the blame for it now, though.
Apparently eating meat warms the planet.
Oh, yeah, that was great. I noticed how quickly that happened when people said something about... The minute somebody said, well, sheep do something awful, you know, and so do cows, the next day the government were onto that. Oh, that's why we have to stop eating meat.
Yeah,
it's... For goodness sake.
It's all those stoned hippies in the cabinet, all those vegetarians that are saying that... and this is just after I've started eating meat.
I know. They're out to get you.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Anyway, I made a... Oh, Indy. That's the cat, sorry. Yeah, I made a convert to liver and bacon today. Somebody who's never eaten it in their lives.
Well, bacon and...
Bacon with liver.
I'm all over. Liver? No.
It's very tasty with onions. And it's very good for you.
No.
And it'll make you brave and everything.
Make me brave?
Yeah.
I have to be brave.
In traffic jam.
Brave to eat it. No, not liver. Or kidneys, or any of that.
Not kidneys, they bounce.
Or any of that awful.
But...
It's awful.
The liver doesn't, you know, it's okay. It's really good.
No, I'm not going to go there, Joan.
It'll make you so strong.
Yeah, right.
You don't want to be strong, do you?
No, I don't, no.
Have to take on too much then.
There's no need for strength now. You can just get... If you need anything done, you get a man in.
Yeah, some men. Yes, you don't have to do that.
You know, good luck with your,
Well, thank you.
fudge.
Thank you very much. I'm eating it as it is in this terrible state at the moment because it's so tasty.
Yeah, look in the bowl.
And the cat wants some. And he just jumped up from the table.
Get it off the table.
He's a naughty boy.
Gotta go, Joan.
Bye-bye then.
Producing 2.2 pounds of beef generates as much greenhouse gas as driving a car non-stop for 3 hours. This is really, I'm getting irritated by this stuff.
Say that again.
Producing 2.2 pounds of beef
Yeah.
generates as much greenhouse gas as driving a car non-stop for 3 hours. 4 average-sized steaks generated greenhouse gases with the warming potential equivalent to 80 pounds of carbon dioxide. That means that 2.2 pound of beef is responsible for greenhouse gas emissions which have the same effect as carbon dioxide released by a car travelling at 50 miles an hour for 3 hours.
Hang on, do you say producing steak?
Yeah.
Well, so what does that mean, producing? Like, growing...
Cooking it?
The cow living, being, different steaks, cooking it, packaging it,
well,
buying it?
Hang on a minute and I'll tell you.
Right.
The amount of energy consumed would light a 100-watt bulb for 20 days. Most of the greenhouse gases... Who was it who used to say that? It was, that woman with the mad hair. Who was that?
Huh?
This is well before anybody was remotely interested in the environment. And, she used to stride towards the camera talking about greenhouse gases. Who was that? Toya. Was it Toya? I'm going to say it was Toya. Most of the greenhouse gases emissions are in the form of methane from animals' digestive systems. A spokesman for the Vegetarian Society told the New Scientist, everyone is trying to come up with different ways to reduce carbon footprints, but one of the easiest things you can do is to stop eating meat.
Oh, no.
Just when I'd started eating meat.
Oh. What are you going to do now?
Eat meat.
Oh.
I'm not going to pay the blindest bit of attention. Any more than I'm going to start driving a car that runs on batteries.
It's getting a bit ridiculous now, because they're just going to keep giving us a list of stuff that emits, CO2. Like, you're going to say, oh, stop using your telephones because they're emitting CO2.
And you know what? We're pretending that we're interested, but come to find out that, I wonder if I picked this story up as well, that, in actual fact, here we go, green apathy.
The thing is, we can't dispute any of it as well. It's not like we can say, oh, look, there's my carbon footprint today, I only did this much.
Yeah.
We just have to believe what everyone's telling us.
Exactly. We are pretending to be green. Britain is a nation of armchair ecologists worried about the environment but unwilling to make anything but the simplest lifestyle changes to cut their carbon footprints, it was said the other day. Research commissioned by some organisation shows that while 75% had fitted energy-saving light bulbs and 64% recycled domestic waste, only 25% have begun to leave the car at home and use public transport. This is the key. If we are causing global warming, then we're screwed, because none of us are going to change what we do in any major respect to actually make a difference. We just will refuse to do it. We won't.
Not enough of us will, anyway.
No one will. No one wants to give up their flat-screen TVs, no one wants to give up their car, no one wants to drag the shopping back from Sainsbury's, all 6 bags.
In paper bags.
Yeah. No one likes those newfangled light bulbs. We're not going to actually do anything that's going to make a difference. So, changing your light bulb and turning your TV off standby, if it does anything, it will delay our inevitable doom by, a couple of hours? It's really going to make no difference at all.
Thing is, I think that the pressure will be turned on to, like, businesses and companies, and they all have to do something about it, but people in their own homes can do what they like.
Businesses and companies aren't going to do anything about it either, because it will affect profits. Even if you could get businesses and companies in the developed world to switch all of their lights off at night, which they never do, every office in London has got its lights burning all night long.
But that's because it's cheaper to leave them on.
Huh?
It's cheaper to leave, like, like office lights on, like the long fluorescent ones.
How can it possibly be cheaper to leave them on?
I don't know, but I was told this. It's cheaper to leave them on than switch them on and off all the time.
Well, that's rubbish.
I'm sure it's true.
What, because someone told you?
Yeah.
Never heard such a load of old tripe in all my life.
Well, I'm sure someone will tell us.
Even if we all pulled together as a team and went back to the Stone Age tomorrow, we gave up all electricity and all modern conveniences. China and India are going to overtake us, and we're going to be screwed anyway, because they're not going to not progress in the way that we did. I mean, how can we go there and say, well, I know that we've got these flat-screen TVs and fridges is, big enough to walk into, but we'd rather you stayed Stone Age people. Of course they're not going to do that. They're going to be pumping the stuff into the environment because it's cheaper, because it helps profits. And so there's nothing we can do. If we are actually killing the world, then it's going to get killed anyway.
Yeah. We
might as well have a party. St. Bennett's, Dave.
Oh, hiya, Nick. You were talking earlier on about driving over in the States.
Yeah.
Can I just say, by the way, I tuned in like halfway through the first hour of the show. It confused the heck out of me. I'm like looking outside and I'm thinking, he's saying it's not rain today.
Yeah, I know.
And then the smoking ban's coming in. I thought I'd crossed over, but...
Yes.
I was out there about a couple of years ago. I was driving through Michigan. And like you say, lovely long straight roads. You can go about 55 miles an hour, which is supposed to be the speed. And when you're in one of these cars that have got the cruise control, I don't know if you drove one of those while you were out there.
No. But I know what it is, yeah.
Most fantastic thing. You just set the speed at what you want and off you go. And because I'd kind of forgot what the limit was, having like been in England most of my life, I'm cruising along at 65, thought I was well within the limit. This guy pulls me up, and he starts asking me all these questions, obviously as a cop would do. And then he asks for my passport, which really freaked me out, because I then realised I'd lost it. And so he stood there with his hands on his hips, looking particularly camp, giving me the third degree, asking me all these questions about where I'd come from. I don't know if he thought I was some sort of a terrorist or something.
You sound like a terrorist.
Sorry?
You sound like one, yeah.
Well, I look a little bit like one as well, actually, but that's another issue. The upshot of it is that I thought he was going to let me off. At the end, we started having a bit of a laugh and a joke, and then he wrote me out a ticket, and he said, you need to pay this within 14 days, or before you leave the country, otherwise there'll be big problems for you. So I'm like, fine. I stick the thing on the passenger seat, regroup myself, eventually find my passport, which was in my back pocket all along, go back down the road, end up going about 60 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour over the limit, and then I noticed this cop car on the right-hand side of me. It's the same guy again. He's pulled someone else over, so I start to slow down a bit. As I did this, the ticket that's neatly sat on the passenger side, which is on the right-hand side, and the window's open, gets caught in a gust of breeze, literally flies out straight across where he's stood. So not kind of like the best outcome of it all. I decided the best thing to do would be to leave it, which I did, and 3 weeks later I got a letter come through the post here back in England, which had my first name, only my first name, the village I live in, and England, and it basically said if you don't pay $250 within 14 days, you're going to be banned from driving in the state of Michigan.
How did they find you with just your first name and your village?
Because that's all I gave away. Because he
How did the letter find you?
It got here to my address. This is the most baffling thing about it. It literally one name on the top, the village, and also it had the England underneath.
Right, okay. Are we believing this, boys?
This is true, gospel, on my life.
If he lives in a little village, then his postman must know him.
Yeah, there's a population of 1,000. Yeah.
Right, okay. And your first name is Ezekiel?
Or Dave, yeah.
Dave, yeah.
I think I could be the only Dave in the village. Hang on, that doesn't sound right, does it?
I'll take your word for that, Dave. All right, thanks a lot, mate. Cheers. This is LBC. Let's have the bad travel news with Amanda Redman.
So they opened their big mouths, and out came talk. Talk, talk.
Aid.
Hi, Nick. You all right?
I am all right, mate.
What do you want now? Yeah, when I turned on earlier, I thought, I know where it is. It's queuing up this Harry Potter book.
Well, I'm a bit conflicted about that, because I only read the first 50 pages of the first book, and I thought, actually, you know what, this isn't written very well, it's for children, so I stopped reading, and I watched the films instead, which, with one exception, have been excellent. But how can you get to the last film without knowing what's going to happen?
Well, you can't, can you?
That's going to be difficult, yeah.
Yeah. I think Bambi's mother gets shot.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah.
She's very upset, by the way, with reviewers in America who have revealed the ending.
Yeah,
reviewers in America have got the book early, and they've finagled it some way, and then they put a review in the papers which basically told you everything that happens. And what's her name is furious about it. Says J.K. Rowling reacted with fury after the New York Times broke the... so it wasn't any old rag, it was the New York Times which broke the cloak of secrecy around her latest Harry Potter book, running a long review of it 2 days before its official publication. With copies of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows apparently available in some American stores and other newspapers' reviews were written from leaks on the internet, Rowling and her publishers hit out against spoil sports who wanted to wreck the excitement engendered with the last instalment of the epic story being released just after midnight tonight. He said, I am staggered that some American newspapers have decided to publish spoilers in the form of reviews in complete disregard of the wishes of literally millions of readers, particularly children, who wanted to reach Harry's final destination by themselves in their own time. You know what? Reviewers are all like this. And I think it's something like... I know something you don't know, and they just can't help themselves but tell you because it makes them feel better about themselves because they know something that you don't know. This is why I never read reviews of anything that I'm going to see, which is why I had to turn Paul Ross off a couple of times this week because he was going to tell me first of all what happened in the Simpsons movie, and then what happens in Wire, which I think starts. Which is a TV program that everyone's going on about. It's an HBO, which makes you hopeful for its quality. It starts on Monday. But, these people should be lined up and shot. I know that sounds like an extreme opinion, but I'm firmly behind it.
I'm not going to tell you about it, but have you seen the Die Hard film?
No, I have not. Does he say yippee-ki-yay?
Well, that would be giving the plot away, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I suppose it would, yeah.
I'm not going to do that, because I was just going to say, like, these days, football matches and that are one thing, aren't they? When, you can't switch the news on, somebody's always going to tell you. But the internet makes it even harder as well, don't it?
Yes, that's right, because even if you're waiting for something from America, and, okay, here's a tip. I've seen it already. The Sopranos. Don't read anything that anybody writes about The Sopranos, the end of which is going to be coming up on Channel 4, I think, in the autumn. Because they will tell you what happens in the end. And if you've seen some American sites, then you'll know already. Because there's been even Bill Clinton's wife, what's her name? Hillary. One of her campaign videos spoofed the end of The Sopranos. So if you just were dialing around, American news sites and have watched that on YouTube, then you'll know what happens right at the very end, which is just makes you want to pull your hair out. So if, like, I would think the rest of the country, if you're keen to see the end of The Sopranos, don't look at any American websites.
Yeah, you've got to just avoid it. But what are you going to do, like? Bury yourself somewhere. Like, just literally lock yourself away.
Well, yeah, I mean,
That's what it takes nowadays.
See, I don't know what's going to happen in this Harry Potter movie. Now, the plot to this Harry Potter movie has been out for years, I would imagine. So, it is, I suppose, technically possible to get to the point of because there's 2 films to come, right? One book, 2 films, is that right? Huh?
I've got no idea.
Yeah, I think that's right. They've got 2 films to come, including the one of the book that's about to be released. So, I suppose it is feasible that you could get to that point when the last film comes out without knowing what the end is. If I don't read anything that starts with the letter H in a newspaper this weekend.
Yeah, because it's even bigger nightmare, if you said before, for you, because you work in the media.
Yeah.
So you got to switch yourself off from the news.
Yes.
And, get your cue at the end of the...
Well, I sometimes do that. Like on a Saturday, if I'm really keen to watch a football match that I've taped during the day, I do turn the news off during a programme, and occasionally I do get through a whole Saturday doing 2 shows at 2 different places without knowing a single thing that's happened in the news, because I'll just turn the news off, because I know they're going to tell me what the football score is.
Yeah. I don't know about you. I'm really upset. This is what I really was calling about. Paul Noel Edmonds Day. One of his companies going bust.
Oh, which one?
It's some radio company or something.
Really? He's got a radio company?
Yeah, I didn't even know. Apparently it's gone bust. It's lost about £3 million, which, you know, how's the poor guy going to survive on?
Oh, well, he'll probably survive on the other 100 million that he's got in the bank, won't he?
Oh dear.
I can't feel much sorrow for him, but he'll get by, I'm sure.
Yeah.
He'll comfort himself by, wandering through the 100 rooms in his palace.
He'll probably cosmically order himself some more money.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, good idea. Hey, listen, Brad, I'm past the break.
Okay.
Cheers, mate. Ta-ra.
Right.
I'm gonna... Huh?
You're on Sunday, right?
I'm on Sunday, yeah.
Give you a bit of a break.
Okay, cheers.
All right, see ya.
I'm gonna cosmically order up some adverts now.
Here are the studio calls flashing up on the indicator.
Hello, Sarah. Oh, Sarah. Okay. Coulsdon. Hello, Dennis.
Hello.
Dennis.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, yeah?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, since this morning...
Yes.
Yeah, at 10 o'clock when the first thunder hit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Quite a bit of old Coulsdon, the electricity went down, yeah?
Really?
Yeah, and till about 2 o'clock, part of it went on, yeah, back on. But the rest of it is still off, yeah, and this is nearly getting on to 11 hours, yeah, with people not having any electricity, yeah.
Which means you haven't got any TV.
No TV, no radio, yeah.
No radio?
We've been listening to radio on the speaker on the mobile phone. Yeah.
You'll have a tumour the size of football.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you're coping well, Dennis.
Yeah.
Keep your chin up, all right.
Everyone's coping well, yeah.
Okay. That's...
Right.
There's a domestic. I've got to go. Cheers, mate.
See you later, bye.
It does make you wonder, really. What it makes me think is that if a little rain, which let's face it is what it was, screws up the whole of the capital of this country, then it indicates that we are teetering on the edge of our abilities to cope all the time. That the slightest little thing like that will tip us over into chaos means that we're really only just coping on a day-to-day basis. There's no margin for error.
Not at all.
So that if something really serious happened, well, we might as well just run up the white flag. We're screwed. That bloke from Dad's Army was right. We are doomed.
Abbott.
I enjoy working with people.
Do you really think that a grown-up should be dressed as Dumbledore, waiting outside a bookshop with a Harry Potter book? I think that's a bit of a sign that there's a problem there.
I don't know what Dumbledore is.
Oh, come off it. You must do.
No. Is that one of the wizards or something?
See, you do know who he is.
I just guessed.
You liar. You lying liar. You should be in the government.
Or a politician.
You do, you're a sci-fi nerd, right?
Yeah. I don't like watch Star Trek. I don't watch the TV program back to back and own all the videos and DVDs like that. Not that kind of nerd.
You're not a freak.
No, not a complete freak. I've been told I'm a medium kind of geek.
Right. Have you been told that you look like Chewbacca?
I just need the ammunition belt.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't think that any grown-up, really, sorry if this comes as bad news to you, should be dressed as Dumbledore waiting for a children's book outside a bookshop that's going to get released at midnight. Why would they release it at midnight? I mean, children are going to go home to bed, right? They're not going to be reading it straight away, surely.
By the time.
Yeah.
The parents will be kicking them to wake them up.
All the papers, though, will have they'll either have their copies delivered to them, or they'll have their own people in those queues, and they will have to stay up all night reading it, because there'll be a competition between them to see who can get the review out first, to see who can spoil it for everyone else first, because they all will. Anybody who actually wants to read the book, don't read the newspapers between now and next weekend, because they'll be just absolutely stuffed with. It'll be a race to see who can ruin it for you first. I guarantee it. Not one review will actually keep any of the secrets to themselves.
Are people really that interested in it, though?
Have you been listening to the news? That's the only thing that anybody's interested in.
Yeah, well...
You know, the Crown Prosecution Service, that thing just ground to a halt, and what I've been saying all along, back me up on this, Alex, from the moment it started, I told you what was going to happen, didn't I? On my other show, I said, write this down, no one is going to be accused of anything at all. They could have saved £1 million and just come to me. Somebody on Sky News said there was no hope of this anyone ever getting accused of anything, because they're just going to use their get-out-of-jail-free card, which is, whatever it is, if it's going to negatively affect you, they'll just say, it's not in the public interest to proceed.
Bit of a cop-out.
Yeah, what they actually mean, it's not in my interest, so we'll just close it down there. It is a get-out-of-jail-free card. They can do anything they like.
How much public money did they waste?
$1 million.
Oh, that's all right.
Well, it's not that much, I know. But if they just come to me, I would have saved them all the time, and they could have given the $1 million to me. They could have given $1/10 of the $1 million to me and saved 900 grand. 10%? That's not bad, is it? Whatever the question is, ask me, and I'll tell you what the research will show you.
It'll save a lot of time, won't it?
Yeah, and that goes double for the psychologists.
You've got very reasonable rates.
Yes, and psychology is the study of the bleeding obvious. Like, a little while ago, they had a psychological study where they mapped people's expressions as they were eating food.
Right.
And they, to determine what people liked the most. Well, they could have just asked them. Guess what the two foods that people's facial expressions as they were eating them determined that they liked the most? That's right, ice cream and chocolate. To which I say, duh. I mean, how obvious is that? Ice cream and chocolate.
But why would you need to do a study like that?
I've got no idea.
What?
No clue.
What help does that prove?
It doesn't. It doesn't. It's like I said, psychology is the study of the bleeding obvious. It's almost completely a giant waste of time.
Huh.
But they've got nothing else to do, so they just think up these silly little things. I mean, you know, rats smell, so they don't want to do rats in mazes, and, you know, where are you going to get with that? So they just think up daft stuff like this. The answer to which they already know.
They just want to show that they're right.
Well, I'm sure they're doing it in order to get more funding.
Well, all of them.
Well, I'm sure that they come up with this stuff, and whatever they research gets the most publicity, will reflect well upon them, and they're standing at the university, so they'll get more funding, which will allow them to go out and buy an exotic sports car, or a totally hot Russian babe for the night, or whatever it is that they spend their money on.
So they go to their boss and go, I think we need to do a study on people's facial expressions when they're eating food.
Ice cream, yeah. See if people actually like ice cream, or they're lying about it, yeah. The whole world's gone mad. Hey, Camilla was in Scotland. She's going to fit into the royal family just perfectly.
Why is that?
The Princess Royal, because that's who it is. Camilla, what's her name? What's her name?
Parker Bowles.
Oh, that's right, yeah, Camilla Parker Bowles.
How can you forget that?
I don't know. Was accused of rudeness yesterday. Really, a member of the royal family, rude? I find that hard to believe. She told residents of the much-maligned town of Cumbernauld that she intended to leave it as soon as possible. She made the comment during a visit to Cumbernauld in central Scotland, which has been described as the Kabul of the North. That's not very nice, is it? Or the Lego fantasy of an unhappy child. I don't know where Cumbernauld is. I mean, I know Scotland fairly well. I went to school in Edinburgh. But just the sound of it, especially the way that Scottish people would say it, Cumbernauld, it doesn't sound like anywhere you want to go, does it? It sounds like it's pebble-dashed and grey.
Yeah.
There's something about pebble-dashed, well, there's just something about pebble-dashed, period, isn't there? It's just really quite hideously depressed. How on earth did we come up with pebble-dashed? How did somebody spray tiny little stones at the side of a house and stood back and thought, oh yeah, that looks nice. I'll do a whole estate like that.
Maybe they did it on the ground first and thought, oh, that looks quite nice. Maybe I'll put it up the side of my house as well.
It's like somebody superglued a drive to your wall. I can't imagine anybody looked at that and thought, oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, we'll do a whole estate like that.
But you see old houses like that as well.
I know.
It's not just estates.
Those are the ones that estate agents sell with the phrase at the end, which everyone's looking out for: needs modernisation.
Has pebble dust.
I.e. his shell.
Yeah.
No inside.
You'll want to strip everything out. Yeah. She made the comment during a visit to Cumbernauld in central Scotland, which has been... Oh, I did that bit. A local councillor said, she told me she was planning to get on a flight to London as soon as possible. Why would you tell that to somebody whose town you're visiting?
But
I can't stand this place. I've got to get out.
The thing is, that could be for a number of reasons. She could have been feeling not too well. She could have been late for something else. There's lots of reasons.
She went on to talk to a representative of AG Bar, the soft drinks company based in the town, about its product, Iron Brew. Have you ever had Iron Brew?
Yeah.
And what do you think of that?
It's all right.
I think it's really good, actually. I think there's something about it that is made from girders.
Can you get it down here?
You know, those girders, like the girder that sticks out the back of your car, Alex, for no earthly reason other than to trick people like me who are trying to park next to it, yes.
It's to protect from people like you. Banging into
do you actually pole things with that?
Pole things?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Things, do you mean?
Pole?
Yeah.
But you said pole.
I know.
Pole things?
Pole.
I thought you meant like pole vaulting.
Pole. Spell pole. P-O-L-E.
No, P-U-double-L.
P-U-double-L is pronounced?
Pole.
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 How's it go?
Pole.
Pole.
It is Welsh.
Pole.
Pole.
Pole. I've been saying it my whole life like that.
Well, you've been making an error for the last 27 years.
Darn it.
Pole.
Pole.
It's one of those words you say over and over enough, and it doesn't mean anything anymore. It's just like somebody going, bah, bah. It's just a noise now. Say it again.
Pole.
She told this bloke that she was planning to get on a flight to London as soon as possible. She went into this place at AG Bar, which makes Iron Brew, which I don't really like fizzy drinks that much, but there's something about Iron Brew that just makes it... I don't know, there's just something about it.
Makes you feel manly.
Yeah, as opposed to cola drinks, which don't.
Isn't it the #1 drink in Scotland?
I believe it is, yeah. She apparently asked... This is while she was at the factory. She apparently asked, can you be sure someone invented that drink? Wasn't it just a nasty surprise? Oh, how rude is that? Jamie Hepburn, the member of the Scottish Parliament for Central Scotland, said, her comments were just rude. If I was invited round to Buckingham Palace, I certainly wouldn't say that I couldn't wait to get out of the place, even if it was true. Cumbernauld is great. And there are he said there are hundreds of people queuing to move up here. Oh, come off it, mate. Hundreds of people are queuing to move into Cumbernauld.
They're probably queuing for the Harry Potter book.
You're lying. Gordon Murray, an independent councillor in Cumbernauld, who attended the shopping centre opening, because that's what she was there for. She went to open a shopping centre.
Did the royals do that?
Why would you want to do that?
I thought that was kind of beneath the royals opening shopping centres.
Yeah.
I thought they did more worthwhile things.
You would think, yeah. Opening charity hospices and...
Maybe it's just for the hierarchy of the royals.
I mean, what's going to be in there? It's going to be the same old shops that are in every shopping centre the whole country over. It's going to be... Well, it's the same old names over and over and over again. You stand in the middle of a shopping centre in any town of in this whole country, and I guarantee the view will be the same.
That's what people want, don't they?
I don't think that that's true, though. Is it what people want, or is it just what people are given?
Yeah, it's what people are given.
Yeah.
And you just have to make the most of what you get.
In much the same way that Walmart has taken over America, and they put these gigantic stores that are almost a town unto themselves on the outskirts of town, which means that everybody goes there because they undercut the local shops, and so all the local shops close down, and then the population turns around and thinks, oh, you know what? I would actually like those old shops back instead of just a row of empty places with the for sale signs up. But it's too late.
I don't know, when I lived in America they looked pretty happy going to the mall every day.
Anyway, she was up for a shopping centre opening. She said that townspeople were disappointed with the brevity of the visit, which just lasted over an hour. There are so many other things that we could offer that she could have seen. In Cumbernauld. Oh, yeah. Name one. Here's Travel Now with Amanda Redman.
Nick Abbott.
I want to show you something.
In Cumbernauld. Hello, Sarah.
Hiya.
Sarah.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Did you survive the travails of the extraordinary weather that we had a little light rain this morning?
My car turned into a boat today. I was really pleased.
A boat?
We sort of, you know, because I was on the roundabout, the bus was like halfway in, and my Honda Civic...
The what, sorry?
The bus.
The bus?
Halfway in the water.
Oh, yeah.
Up to its knees. And then my car, which is a Honda, it just sailed through.
Huh.
So I was really impressed. But the brakes stopped working a bit.
Yeah, you always got to test your brakes afterwards.
Yeah, and then the kids were dancing in the street because it was the last day of school, and I nearly ran over one of them, so that was not good.
Well, nearly is all right.
Nearly, yeah, they were fine, but then I had to honk because you know, they were just dancing in the streets like
they just don't care.
Children. Yeah.
Huh. Dancing in the street.
Yeah, they were. Because, I don't know, it was the last day of the school, so they were sort of chucking water at our car.
I thought the schools had broken up ages ago. The lollipop lady from down our way, I haven't seen her in a dog's age, and she normally, well, she's always there when the schools are in. Haven't they been broken up for ages?
Maybe that was the posh school. These are the comprehensive.
Right.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
I was talking about the vegetarian thingy-bobs. You know, the vegetarian people... Because we tried to go on a vegetarian diet in our house, and we produced a lot of pollution within the house.
Nice.
There was air pollution, noise pollution, and it was hard to live. You know, it was like we couldn't sort of breathe anymore.
Well, really?
Yeah. So
why did you go on a vegetarian diet?
Well, because of all these killing animal things. You know.
Because of the killing animal things.
Yeah, well, you know, you're not supposed to sort of kill them and eat them. But then I thought, but we're supposed to. That's why we've got canine teeth.
Yeah.
And, you know, on an acre of land, you know, you would need probably that amount of plantation to feed one person. But if you had a cow there, you could feed a whole lot of people. About 50 maybe, or 100, depending on how much meat they get each, you know. So,
yeah, but just once, though.
That's right. So, would you rather have one person eat one meal from that patch of land, or would you rather have 100 people eat from that patch of land once?
I don't think it's an either-or, really. I think if you were farming and eating vegetables, then you could eat continuously, couldn't you? But once you kill the cow, then that's it.
Yeah, but then how long are the plants going to take to grow back?
6 months.
Yeah.
I've got no idea.
So, but the cow, if you've given birth to a calf,
yeah,
well, then the calf will grow up to be another. Hopefully.
Calves.
Yeah. What do you think?
So this.
But I'm worried about the pollution angle of it. Because it's, you know, if you can't live in your own house because you can't breathe, because the air is so polluted, where are you supposed to go and live?
How many people live in your house?
4 of us, yeah.
4? Yeah. Is it a very small house?
No, it's all right. I mean, because what can you eat? You can eat beans.
Yeah.
And more beans, and peas, and more beans, and salads.
Cabbage.
And beans, and, cabbage, and radish, no. And rice, and beans.
Brussels sprouts.
Oh, gosh, please. Those are the worst.
They are, aren't they?
Yeah. I can't breathe at night, you know. My husband, in his quilt, you know.
But you want to get separate quilts?
Yeah, we have, but, you know, sometimes his quilt comes off, and then I nearly sort of die of shock. I fall on the floor.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
So this whole
Do you have that problem at your house?
No, I eat meat now.
Oh, so you've solved the problem, you see?
Yeah, plus
I think Ian Lee has the problem at his house.
Right. Plus our windows open.
Oh, right. But what about in the winter?
Ah, well, you've got a good point there.
You have to think of each in every angle.
Yeah, you're right.
You can't just say, oh, you know, the world's burning up and the streets are flooding because we're eating meat.
Well, you could hold your breath from September.
Yes, but then how long could you hold your breath for?
6 months.
6 months. I can barely go without breathing for a minute or two. Because then I have to light a match. You know, if you light a match, the smell just disappears. The odour.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's right. So all these people who buy...
How does that work?
Because anything needs oxygen to burn, right? You know that?
Yeah.
From science, yeah. So, if you've got bad odour, say in the toilet, or when someone who's been eating lots of beans has been into that toilet, and you don't want to use an air freshener because that's going to destroy the environment even more. So what you do is you light a match, and all the odour fades away.
I think it's just that the smell of the sulphur is strong enough to eliminate or overpower the smell of the, you know.
No, because the sulphur, the odour in the air gets used up to light that match. So next time when you go to Ian Lee's house and you need to use the toilet, if he's been in it, try that.
I once heard Fanny Craddock, this is going back a long time, she once said, it's very non-you to go to the loo in other people's houses.
Well, if you've got a pack of matches in your pocket, you'll be fine.
Right.
Because they'll never know you've been in there. No, she's just saying that our sofa does not smell. But it does. Don't worry about it. Especially the cushions, you know.
So this whole vegetarian experiment,
yeah, especially the beans.
That's by the wayside now, right?
Oh, definitely.
Back on the meat.
Definitely.
Yeah, good for you.
And fish.
Meat and fish, yeah. Fish won't have that,
Well, they have a certain odour.
well, fishy odours,
they
but...
don't produce the odour when they go inside your body.
That's right. They won't make you produce an odour.
No,
they have to
that's
produce it
right.
all themselves, yeah.
That's true. So that's why you've got to have garlic as well.
Well, you make a lot of good points.
You reckon?
No.
Yes, I do.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yes, you do, yeah. I knew it was one or the other. Okay, well, listen, thanks a lot, Sarah.
Yeah, but I was going to say I'm missing Ian.
Of course, why not? He's back on Monday.
This Monday?
Yeah, this coming Monday.
This Monday, but I thought he's going to be gone for 2 weeks.
I don't think so.
Why? Is he desperate to get back to me?
Yes. In fact, he told us that before he left.
Okay. All right. Tell him I miss him too, but don't make it too obvious.
Oh, yeah,
I don't
sure.
want him to think
Of course.
that, you know, I'm waiting for him too much.
I will be the soul of discretion. You can trust me.
Is he still with his girlfriend?
Sarah, I want you to I want you to take a deep breath in and hold it.
Okay.
You didn't do it. Well, maybe she did. You know, through that entire conversation, she controlled herself really well. Did you notice? Because there was one word that she was going to say, but she just like skated around it and didn't say it, which I thought was very well done. Well done, Sarah. Here is Catford. Hello, Trixie.
No, she didn't mention the word beginning with F.
No.
Should I say it?
No.
Oh, right. Okay. Hello. Yes, matches. Yes, take some matches with you. It's quite useful for odours in the bathroom.
I've never heard such a lot of old rubbish in all my life. How on earth could...
It's not rubbish. It really does work. For some, it burns off the odours. The sulphur burns off the odours. I don't know.
Some bloke set fire to his house by lighting his own, you know.
Oh yes.
And the resultant flame caught the curtains alight.
Yeah, it was
burned the house down.
In Brighton, people used to run around on the hillsides and sort of set fire to themselves in the dark. You could see these trails.
It sounds like the sort of thing you see on YouTube.
Yes.
Don't try this at home. At least your own home.
No, don't try it anywhere. It actually hurts, apparently. But,
I can imagine.
I didn't try it myself. I'm so glad you got there. We were all freaking out here in cyberspace, sort of.
Oh, really?
Yes. I had the luxury of being at home all day today, so I didn't actually see the weather.
It was just outside, Trixie. Have you got windows?
I heard something, and I thought, oh well, it's the weather, you know, and I thought, oh, I'll have a little lie down this afternoon. Woke up to hear the news, and it said, oh, was it 2 feet of water in Lewisham? And I thought, what? That's just up the road.
And how on earth does that happen, by the way? 2 inches of water fell, 2 feet of water are in the road. How on earth does that
I have
work?
absolutely no idea.
Hey, Trixie, I've got to go because the news is on us.
All right, my darling,
Right,
welcome
cheers,
back.
my dear.
Bye.
Ta-ta. This is LBC.
Well, let's get back to it.
There's a very interesting blog in the Telegraph today from a policeman. You know, the crime figures have just come out and they've just shown that under their excellent rule, crime has gone down again, apart from a few little things that have gone up, but let's not worry about that because the overall picture is excellent and we're all moving forwards to a great new tomorrow, you know, the rubbish that they would come out with. And I don't know about you, but whenever a government releases statistics, I'm always, in my mind, their alarm bells are going off.
Warning! Warning!
I'm thinking, in what way are they lying to me now?
Well, the thing is, this country's so big. Can they really be that accurate? You know? Can they totally report back everything?
Yes.
They can they?
Well, yeah, you think all the police forces, the separate police forces around the country, they'll all have their numbers, and then they'll send it into central government, and they'll, you know, move them around a little bit to make it look good.
Exactly.
Well, what's the point in them sending them in the first place?
To make the government look good.
Okay.
Same with the NHS figures, and, you know, the waiting times, and all of that stuff. I doubt that there's a single person in the country that actually believes a single thing they say anymore. I mean, how often do you have to get duped before the bell goes off and you think, oh yeah, I'm just being lied to all the time? You know, once you've found out once, twice, 3 times, 100 times, then, you know, a scintilla of doubt comes into your mind when you're being told that everything's rosy, and your own experience is that, you know what, no it isn't.
That's the thing now, isn't it? We don't care, and the government knows we don't care, so they don't care about making us care.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Thing is also, like things like crime figures, people know that sometimes it's going to go up a bit, sometimes it's going to go down a bit. You know, it's going to fluctuate, isn't it? It's not it can't always be going down, the number of crimes. It can't.
Well, apparently it is, because every time they release release crime statistics, the overall figure is that it's going down.
Yeah, but people know really that, you know, crime is still going on, and it'll go up and it'll go down. Not necessarily the actual figures, but the rate of crime will fluctuate all the time. So they'll be a bit suspicious if it's going down all the time.
Yeah, exactly. But I think you hit on something there, Alex, that they know that we don't believe them anymore, and so they know that whatever they say, let me try and put this right.
It can be anything, Lee.
They know that we don't believe them. They know that our reaction to being lied to is just to take it.
Yes.
We're just like, oh yeah, okay. We don't care, you know. Trisha's on, Coronation Street's on later, there's a beer in the fridge, who cares?
Yeah, we've just grown, you know,
accustomed to their
complete apathy and
mendacity, yeah.
Is this what we expect now?
I think it is, yeah. I think we just do expect it now.
And they know they can get away with it.
Yes.
So they just keep doing it until one day something happens where they can't get away with it, but as long as we're all kind of happy, like you say, and we, you know, just kind of bumble along watching TV.
I don't think happy is the right word. I think apathetic. I think we like to have something to grumble about, but we just won't do anything about it. You know, if this sort of thing happened in France, there'd be riots in the streets, because they seem to be more... their blood seems to boil more than ours does. We're just like, oh well.
Yeah, when was the last time there was an actual riot in central London?
Well, it was the poll tax, wasn't it?
It was ages ago.
This is an actual policeman who's writing, who writes his own blog. A bit of it is in the Telegraph.
You're going to do it in the policeman's voice.
There's too much of it. I can't. There's too much.
Just do as much as you can.
Despite the best efforts of the telly people to suggest otherwise, being in the police has never been all that glamorous, he says. A frontline bobby like me would make his arrests, have the occasional car chase, and, once in a blue moon, be involved in something quite big. It was, if I'm honest, quite mundane, but at least we felt we were doing something worthwhile, and for the most part, we had the respect and appreciation of the law-abiding public. You can remember back that far, can't you?
The law-abiding public?
respected and admired the police force.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'd be able to administer a clip around the ear for some oik who was riding his bike on the pavement, and they would hop to obeying of the full majesty of the law straight away, as opposed to going over and stabbing him in the face and saying, "What are you going to do about it?" I think that's changing, he says, and I'm not surprised. The average PC now spends 75% of each shift engaged in nonsense which has little to do with catching criminals or helping victims. If we're not getting the helicopter up to chase boys in pedalos, we're nicking people for owning gollywogs or calling our horses gay. When we're not chasing wild geese, we're squirreled away in offices, writing reports, sending emails and filing. The modern British policeman's most important tool is the biro. One thing's for sure, whatever the statistics say, we're not catching proper criminals. And this is, of course, exactly what the statistics say. And because you don't know policemen, I mean, do you count policemen amongst your friends? No, I mean, you just see them on the street with all of their, accoutrements hanging off their stab-proof vests, and so we don't really know.
Well, you hardly see them, you just see the community support, their assistance.
You can hear them go by really quickly in the distance, but you don't ever see them anymore. A week or so ago, he says, I attended a domestic dispute involving custody of a wire-haired terrier. By the time I arrived, 2 days after the call, the couple had resolved the matter. It took hours to deal with. What was that? That sounded like the police were in the building. It took hours to deal with. The file ran to 15 pages, was recorded on at least 4 computer systems, and included reviews from my sergeant and the Divisional Crime Audit Department, who finally said that, in line with Home Office crime recording standards, no crime had been committed. That's for a dog. Other highlights include an investigation into 2 10-year-old stone throwers and the delivery of a harassment notice to a man for walking down Station Road. It's not just me, he says. I write an online blog, which is coppersblog.blogspot.com, and every day I'm inundated by other frustrated frontline officers with examples of Home Office silliness that have meant hours in the station and pages of reports. The police force, once trusted by the majority of decent folk, is fast becoming a joke. So why are we arresting people for throwing cucumber sandwiches or chalking on the pavement? They did arrest children for chalking out a hopscotch thing on the pavement just recently.
Really?
Staggering.
What, is that counted as graffiti?
Well, this is his question. So why are we doing this? He says it's all about detections and a big fraud that the government is perpetrating on taxpayers. In our fast-moving society, people like simple headline figures. In 2005 to 6, the headline was that 27% of crimes were detected. It's not much to brag about, but at least it's not absolutely pathetic. But if you look a little deeper, we didn't detect 27% of all burglaries, or 27% of all assaults, or 27% of all the mindless acts of vandalism that went on. The kind where you wake up and find your car's wing mirror hanging on by its wires. The actual burglary detection rate was 13%. Of which 40% were TICs, taken into consideration, where an offender confesses to other crimes to get them off his slate, or, more accurately, where a guy will confess to things that he didn't actually do, so that the police can say, well, we've cleared them up then.
Ah.
That happens a lot, apparently.
That's shocking.
Like, you'll hear of a guy who goes to jail and he's just committed, for committing one crime, with, 50 others taken into consideration.
Yeah.
He may or may not have committed those 50 others. They've just said, well, we've got 50 here. If you just admit to those, then we'll go a bit lighter on you, and then we can sort our statistics out. Amazingly enough, that actually happens.
Do you reckon each police station gets a bonus if they have good statistics?
Almost. Well, yes, in fact they do, because they get, it's all down to how much budget they get. He says, this is in order to allow the government to trumpet that 27% headline. It's actually quite bad, this, isn't it? The detections include lots of playground hair pullings, minor school scuffles, and over-the-fence rows. So we're arresting children, the perennially stupid, and the generally law-abiding over ludicrous matters in order to meet targets. and cover up the fact that streetwise burglars and muggers are almost guaranteed to get away scot-free. They now have a number now that's not 999 that you can dial if you just had your iPod nicked, because they know that there's nothing you can do about it. All you'll do is you'll get a crime number that you can tell your insurance company, and they need never bother coming over, because they've kind of just given up on all that, haven't they?
You probably don't even have to speak to someone, you just leave your name and address on an answer phone. And
yeah. Press 1 if you're bleeding. Yeah. Playground bullying can be serious, but surely it ought to be left, in most cases, to the schools. Do we want to give our 11-year-olds criminal records just so that the politicians can claim all is well? Do we want our police officers spending days dealing with trivia? The statistical obfuscation goes on. The Home Office claims that 63% of a police officer's time is spent at the front line. Because this is what they've been accused of, you know, police officers are spending all their time filling out paperwork, which is what police officers say, and the Home Office comes along, and the government, as usual, says, oh, no, it's not, which is their default setting for whatever they're being accused of. Oh, no, it's not, and here is the statistics to prove it. 63% of a police officer's time is spent at the front line, they say. Now, what do you think the front line means? Out there, on the beat, nicking criminals, right?
Yes.
No. The front line includes being in the station, waiting to book in, waiting for solicitors, or adults, or translators, interviewing, writing interminable reports, and then getting the CPS to make a decision as to charge. So, in other words, being at the front line can be filing.
So, what do they class as actually being out on the street? What do they call that?
I don't know.
Non-existent.
It's so small a time that they just pretend that doesn't exist and they include it in all of the other stuff. I think it just means showing up for work. He says, I think the public are getting wise, and I believe change is in the air. People want locally accountable chief officers, responding to local needs rather than a central diktat. Meanwhile, last time I looked, wasting police time was an offence which can lead to a 6-month jail sentence. Someone ought to tell the Home Secretary and our constable chiefs. An offence. They could be arrested by the law. So I thought that was worth disseminating on the air, because, you know, not many people would have read that sort of tucked away in the back pages in the Telegraph, and I thought that was really quite interesting on the back of these crime statistics that have just come out, showing the government is doing a glowing job.
Yeah, why doesn't the Sun put that on the front page instead of blooming posh face?
Yeah. Because it's not got no boobs, that's why not. It's 9:45, here's Travel with Amanda Redman.
Thanks very much, Nick. Well, if you're heading out onto the tubes...
Nick Abbott.
How may I help you?
Which is kind of the same that that policeman saying that they're fudging statistics. Well, you know, we could say fudging or they're massaging. What it actually is they're lying to us, really. It's the same as the NHS. Now, I said this a while ago because one of my mates is a doctor, and he told me that this is one of the things that they do, because they said they were going to make it so that you get seen by accident and emergency within a certain amount of time after you arrived. It was, say, an hour, 2 hours, something like that.
Yeah.
And so, in order to make the statistics reflect that the government is doing a good job, what they do is, if they haven't actually seen you in accident and emergency, say you're on a bed,
yeah,
and you need to be seen, you've got wires going into you and, you know, blood seeping out and so on, and they still haven't seen you after an hour. What they'll do is, they'll take you out of accident and emergency, so you're not in A&E anymore. So you don't show up on the statistics.
It's all massaging of the figures.
Lying, in other words. Here's Temple Force. Hello, Nige.
Hi, how you doing? Okay.
All right, thanks.
Good. I want to know about a couple of little topics. The first thing is that whinging policemen who are unhappy with their lot. You know, they're fed up with arresting these people throwing out apple cores or sticking people on for dropping litter or people doing silly things. Well, you know what? If they don't do it, then arrest some real criminals and we'll all be a bit happier, and maybe they'll be a bit more happier, you know? Did you agree with that or not?
You weren't listening to a single thing that I just said, were you?
I was. About the policeman's blog. I mean, policemen keep moaning and bleating on about they got too much paperwork to do. They're fed up with having to meet quotas about arresting people for silly things. Well, ignore those silly things. I remember, and I still remember, the policemen in their district have a very famous word called discretion. If they don't want to arrest someone, they don't have to arrest them.
Yeah, but if they're being instructed by their superiors to go out, almost like traffic wardens, and put on as many tickets as they possibly can, then they're not going to spend days and days going out and, tracking down burglars, because they're going to come back and they say, oh, we haven't got anything for you today, Governor. And he'll say, right then, you're fired.
Well, they can certainly take their governor. I couldn't see anyone dropping an apple call, but I mixed some people for drunk, or kicking in the doorway, or being sick in the street, or fighting outside a pub. I mean, people are fed up with it. I mean, policemen just whinge and moan. They get a lovely job, pension, and free travel.
Free travel.
You know,
I think I'd rather pay for my travel and not have to walk around in a stab-proof vest.
Well, that's the thing that they choose. But just changing the subject, you mentioned Walmart.
Yeah.
I love Walmart. I live in the States, and Walmart is an institution in America. And interestingly enough, all the other markets nearby still compete quite satisfactorily because Walmart has things that the other supermarkets doesn't have. So it does very, very well.
Have you seen a documentary called The High Price of Low Cost?
Didn't see it, no.
Right. See it, then call me back and tell me what you feel about it.
Well, but hang on a second. I haven't seen it, but where I live in the States, all the other supermarkets still thrive and still open and still do well.
Yeah, supermarkets. What about all the tiny independent traders that have been, the centre of towns are like ghost towns now in much of America.
Well, not where I live, because where I live, apart from major shopping malls outlets, you've still got small delis, small independent shops that...
Where do you live? It sounds like he's calling us from America.
It's a terrible line, isn't it? I'm sorry.
Yeah, where do you live?
Las Vegas. I used to live in California for 18 years, in San Diego.
Why do you live in Las Vegas?
Sorry?
Why'd you live there?
Well, what happened was I sold a home which I had in San Diego after 18 years because property values went through the roof. It's the most expensive state to live in America, is California. And Nevada, the state of Nevada where Las Vegas is America's fastest growing city. So it's very cheap to live there. There's no state income tax. There's the most amazing entertainment, restaurants.
There's no income tax?
No income tax. So you want to come and live there now, don't you?
Yes. It doesn't rain there either.
Well, it does not. Very, very infrequently. And it's got more five-star chefs than anywhere in the world. It's got great entertainment. Culturally, it's completely dead, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but, it's just gambling and hot and cold running hookers.
55-plus golf courses, great national parks, lots to see and do. LA's only a few hours down the road, or you can fly there for an hour.
Let's all up sticks and go there right now. Does it sound like a good idea? We could, with the money that we would save by selling the houses that we got here, we could buy mansions over there.
That's right.
Mind you, of course, the property market in America is heading for a giant fall.
Well, Florida is not so great, but and the cheapest place to buy a house in America is Detroit, Michigan. Yeah,
for very good reasons. Yeah.
You can buy. I don't know if you saw a program on the walk-up. You can buy a 4-bedroom house in Detroit, Michigan for $7,000. And it was so funny. The auctioneer was having such a tough time selling it. He said, even the land under the house goes with the property. I thought it was quite funny when he said that. So it is cheap. But it is a bit speculative, I would say. Yeah. The bad thing about buying a house in Detroit, Michigan is that you actually have to live in Detroit, Michigan. Yeah. It comes with an AK-47 for your own protection. Yeah, exactly. All right, listen, I've got to go now, so I'm past the break. All right, but thanks a lot, mate. Cheers. Bye-bye. Ta-ta. I've got an excellent How Low auction. This is one of the best prizes that we've had so far. Isn't it? Well, prize is not accurate, is it? It's how would you describe it?
Well, it's like a big package of goodies.
Yeah, a big package of goodies. It's about the biggest package you've ever seen. Look at the size of that, Alex. Have you ever seen anything that big?
I think we're looking at 10 inches.
All right, well, go away and come back and I'll tell you all about it.